In this video we're going to talk about change and whether or not that is something that happens quickly. We ask you to consider returning the energy shared in these videos through PayPal or Patreon to unlock flow for yourself and so that we can continue sharing the source truth and guidance. More empowerment and clarity to you. Change is of course a process, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a long process. It can be a process that happens over the time frame of a second. It's the moment where you gain clarity, the moment where you see a truth, see something that can be true to you. What do you want to change? And are you having difficulties making that change? And if so, why? And is the process of making that change taking so long? And why is that? So let's say that you think that you should be exercising every morning. It's just an example. You think that you should wake up super early and do 1 hour of heavy exercise. But you're having difficulty making that change to where you genuinely want to wake up early and you want to do that exercise. And you have now become the person who is simply just waking up early and doing exercise. Well, is that something that you truly want to do? Do you truly want to do that more than you want to do something else instead? And you can ask the same question with any scenario where you could make change. If it is in your approach to raising your frequency, overcoming problems, gaining clarity, whatever it should be. Why are you having difficulties making that change with this thing that is so important to you? The change happens at that moment where you gain clarity about the true value this thing has for you, and where you have difficulties with making change. It could often be about things that you genuinely don't want. It could be things that society is telling you to do, or your parents, or things that you think that others would appreciate if you did. But with the things that really matters to you, you might have a very quick realization of why it matters and why that thing is important to you. And when you get that moment of clarity, that moment of insight in how great this thing is, or how valuable it is, or how essential it is for you to achieve what it is you want to achieve, then you will be able to make that change right there. And every achievement you possibly could have is also an achievement you possibly could not have. And you could take any example, if it is about exercising or eating healthier or having communication skills or discipline in getting to work and getting things produced. Either that is an experience that you have right now as being successful within, or it isn't. And you need to recognize what is important to you. Do you want to be good at communicating? Of course, you need to consider whether or not you think you can, and if this is something that you genuinely can achieve, and of course it is. We're talking about communication. You are a source player. There is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your anything. You can of course become good at communicating. And the change you need to make is simply a tiny little subconscious programming where you go from giving into the realm of not being someone who can do it to believing that you can and knowing that you can. And when you know that you can, then you can. And the amount of time it takes you to make that change, to go from a subconscious where you think you can't to where you think you can be a instantaneous change. Essentially, you just need to see that you can do it. And the reason that process could take a long time is because you're taking a long time in recognizing why it is that you can do it, or why it is that you want to do it, or what value it truly has to you to have that ability. So if you want to wake up early in the morning and do exercise, then why do you want to do it? Why are you having difficulties doing it? If you truly think that it's going to boost the rest of your day, you're going to feel sharper, stronger, faster, overall better, then you're probably now in the phase of gaining the clarity you need to make the change that you want, to where you now have become someone who wakes up early and exercises hard for 1 hour. So essentially you just need to recognize what you want and be able to distinguish what you want from what it is that you just think that you want. And those things are going to be very difficult to make changes within, to where you genuinely gain those abilities or those qualities in life. And when I say those things that you think you want, I mean things that are expected of you from society or things like that, from your parents, or things that you simply have maybe misunderstood and you thought that this is a quality that someone should have. If you recognize that not everything that society or your parents expect of you are something that a highest frequency source player should have as a quality, then you're on a good way. If you have a child, society and everyone on the internet is expecting you to take care of that child and to care about that child with all of your heart for the rest of your life, but it really does not have to be like that. And if you aren't genuinely feeling a desire to have that experience of caring for that child and being there, then that is fine. There is no right and wrong. It is you and your journey and what you want your life to be. And if you can learn to distinguish what you truly want from what misconceptions you have about society or your parents or anything, then you're on a good way to making changes efficiently, changes that will shape your life the way you want it, and you will be able to make those changes quickly. Because now you're sitting there and wondering, should you wake up early in the morning and exercise for 1 hour? Well, there are many people on YouTube that tell you that you should, because it's going to improve your life so much, and it might be true. And do you think that it will benefit you? Is that the type of life you want now? What are the benefits that you have understood that this will give you? And if you truly think that the benefits are so great, then you are going to have an easy time making that change. And it is at that moment where you understood all the benefits that you have a very easy time making a change quickly. And like I say all the time, it's the same for everything. If you're having difficulties committing to the journey, well, what does that mean? Are you having difficulty committing to dealing with shadows, misconceptions, areas where you don't have enough clarity? And why is that? Well, maybe you are misunderstanding. Maybe you in fact are dealing with the things that are truly important for you right now. And maybe that's exactly where you should be. That's exactly what you should be doing. Maybe you think that you should be gaining clarity about a lot of things that aren't necessarily right for you right now. And you need to be able to distinguish illusion from truth and recognize what you truly want. And if you follow your journey and your desire here and now, and your problems here and now, and you overcome those, the areas where you have lack of clarity, the areas where you want to be more mature, and you deal with those things, then you are probably doing good. If you have benefited from this content, consider returning the energy through PayPal or Patreon. You get out of this whatever you put in. More empowerment and clarity to you. Thank you.